This is Brendan M. Allen from ComicCon.com, sitting here with Cullen Bunn, author of Harrow County and the Ghoul next door, not the girl next door. And today we have joining us is Anton Kromoff, and we're going to be looking today at a book called Lovecraft Cocktails, Elixirs and Libations from the Lore of H.P. Lovecraft. This is written by Mike Slater, published by Countryman Press, 200 pages, clocks in at $25 retail. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Man? How are you?
Doing all right. Doing all right. No hat today, Cullen.
No, I've been working so hard and so fast. The hat just incinerated as I was so busily working and making cocktails.
Nice, cool. So the one that we wanted to start out with today was the mint Juliang. Is that it?
I thought we were starting out with a mind eraser.
The mind eraser.
I got them all right here. You tell me.
We can do the mind eraser. That's fine. That's fine.
Believe me, if we're going to do this, I'd like my mind to be erased.
Okay, so the thing about this book is there's like different sections. One of the sections is aberrations and variations on classic libations. Basically, what the author did is did little twists on classics and changed the names with puns and things on here. So mind replacer. This is basically a mind eraser with the substitution of cream soda instead of tonic. And that is a super dark drink.
So mine came out really light.
Same.
Okay. Well, I don't know what
the different the coffee liqueur. So the mind eraser has coffee liqueur, right? I'll make sure I'm holding the right one up. Yes, it's the coffee liqueur drink. I guess I used a lighter coffee liqueur, maybe.
Yeah, I used Kahlua. Is that the wrong one?
No, that's what I used. Yeah.
Interesting.
Right. Maybe it
doesn't matter. Cool. I haven't tasted. Have you guys tried these yet?
Oh yeah,
I have not. I have not.
I have not tasted them.
First time go.
Anton broke the rules.
All right, so here we go. That is a mind eraser.
You know, I've never had a mind eraser.
You know, that's not surprising because
I remember.
I was just about to say it's not a spectacle drink. You don't have to like drink it out of an octopus's arms or something like that. So it didn't surprise me that it wasn't one that you tried, right?
I like drinks in a show. That's pretty good though. It's not my type of drink, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I forgot to show you this. You inspired me with your glasses there. So this is a glass that I'm going to start selling on my website for like $47 retail. I'm thinking.
Nice.
But this is version 1. I've got like 2 or 3 others of these. So that's the prototype.
I'm going to be one of your first customers.
I'm still waiting on my bun glass, by the way.
I have them. I'm the worst when it comes to mailing stuff out. So at some point I'll do that.
Yeah. What are your notes on that one, Anton?
The coffee is good, but I'm a habitual coffee drinker, so coffee liqueurs never really hit me because I haven't found one yet that has that actual sort of roasty flavor. But it's not bad. It's not bad. It reminds me of like 20-something chain restaurant trying to impress people after a community theater adventure. It's one of those things you order off of a big plastic menu.
Interesting. Anton's our color guy coming through. All right, I like it. All right. What else do we have? The next one was
tell people what's in this thing so they know. I mean, besides telling them it's a mind eraser.
Sure. So in a mind eraser, you've got equal parts coffee liqueur, vodka, and tonic. This one is equal parts coffee liqueur, vodka, and cream soda. Yeah. So it does have a little bit more of a creamy flavor to it than the typical mind eraser.
Yeah.
And something I wanted to point out, one of the reasons why I picked some of the drinks that I picked is just to show the difference between, one of the things we did Gotham City Cocktails, and one of the things that was really nice is that the actual making of the drink was laid out very, very clearly.
Yeah.
And then the story was down below. And so the thing is whether you knew Batman or not, it was still a great bar book because without knowing the cadence and, the language of Batman, you could still make the drink. So I'm just going to read out loud the instructions here for the mind.
I thought mind eraser might have been there was another one that's a little worse than mind eraser in the description. And when I say worse, I'm not saying bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's more.
You have to understand the cadence. the cadence and vernacular of H.P. Lovecraft to make your way through some of these.
Right.
So it says, let seep slowly the darkest memory first, trickling down the walls of thought. Then the same do with the crystal clarity of mind. And lastly and again, the sweet effervescence of completion. The vessel is full, empty it into yourself, and let surge the spirits you shall carry within.
Yeah, that was the one that I was like, that's the most obtuse of the instructions, I felt like.
Right.
I mean, I get it.
Now compare that to the next one. The next one is the mint Juliang, which is obviously it's a twist on a mint julep. This has got muddled mint leaves and a teaspoon of sugar, some rose water, ice cubes, Scotch bourbon, and club soda. But the instructions on this one: in a rocks glass, muddle 3 mint leaves with sugar and rose water. Add the crushed ice. Pour the Scotch and bourbon over the ice. Add a splash of club soda and stir gently. Garnish with a mint leaf.
Yeah,
it's
easy.
like it's like it's out of 2 different books.
Yeah,
the instructions are so different. So that being said, the mint Juliang is the one up, and this is a play on words. What's Juliang from?
Oh, they're talking about the plateau of Ling, which is one of the areas in the Dreamlands or whatever. It's where the men from Ling and the spiders of Ling dwell.
Nice. Okay, so here's the mint Juliang, and this is.
I think I put too much Scotch in mine.
Whoo!
That is
too much Scotch.
That is a stout beverage, friends.
That really is. Wow. This is the second design that I'm offering on my website.
I like that one the best so far.
There we go. So this is the one I'll box up and send off to you then.
Yeah, someday.
It's got a little flavor on it. Looks good.
Whew. That
man,
is, I mean,
man, those folks from the Plateau of Ling like their Scotch. They like their peaty drinks.
Who doesn't like Scotch? Everybody likes Scotch. Lunatics don't like Scotch.
I think I told you last time.
I'm
not a Scotch guy, but I'm trying.
You know, it's funny too because we talked about the regions of Scotch, and I told you that I don't really appreciate Islay Scotch because it's so smoky. Mm-hmm. But I had one the other day that's called Bunnahabhain.
Oh yeah, that's one of my friends. That's what he. I mean, I have a bottle in here. He leaves it here for us to have when he comes by.
So my buddy that comes by that brings the ridiculous bottles of alcohol across brought this Bunnahabhain over, and this is one of the best scotches I've ever had, and it comes from Islay.
Bunnahabhain.
Listen, yo, are you Scottish?
I own land in Scotland.
No, actually, I looked it up, and I looked it up on one of those Gaelic translation websites just to make sure it is Bunnahabhain.
Bunnahabhain, bun, B-U-N-N.
Listen, yo.
Bunnahabhain. Bunna is having another glass of that scotch.
So, like I said before, you know, I've made fun of you before because you say that all Scotch is peaty, and I said no, it's just Islay Scotch. Here's an Islay Scotch that is not peaty at all. It's got such a complex, like beautiful profile on it.
I told you I'm trying. I joined a speakeasy here in town. I signed up for a membership so that I could go and enjoy drinks in the privacy of the speakeasy, and they make a lot of Scotch drinks. So I've been experimenting.
I appreciate that. Next time we're in the same general area, we're gonna have to go to the speakeasy.
Not with that hat, you're not.
Easy, fella. You forgot your hat today. That's what happened. You're so stressed out. You left your hat somewhere, and you don't want to admit that you forgot it.
I did. I looked at the clock and I was like, oh man, it's time to go on this recording. All right, so this is a stout drink. I mean, it's good, but it's a sip. You have to sip this, which I guess is what you're supposed to do with a mint julep.
The ice helps. I don't think that the crushed ice is the best one. They have you crush the ice, and I think that's probably for the look. Mm-hmm. But I think cubed ice would probably keep it cold a little longer, and having it colder gives it a little bit, makes it go down a little easier.
Well, I cheated a little bit. You know what I did? I used Sonic Ice. Because I like Sonic Ice in my drinks.
What is Sonic Ice?
You don't have Sonics where you are?
Oh, Sonic like the drive-in?
Yeah, you go and you buy a bag of their Sonic Ice.
So you got those little rabbit turds in your...
Yeah, let me show you. I got one. I got a whole cup of fresh ones right here. Yeah, they're little...
No, I thought you were talking about like some gadget that you put your drink on, or you put in your drink that's sonic and keeps it cold.
You can buy a sonic or a ice maker that makes sonic ice, and I've thought about buying one, but I hear they break a lot. They break frequently, and if I can just drive down to Sonic and for $2 buy a bag of their ice, I mean,
well, $2 and $2 not bad. I spent $1.90 at Food Max a minute ago getting my ice. So
yeah, cool. So yeah, I like that sonic ice. I like the look of it. I like the texture of it. I like how the drinks pour around it. I'm a big fan of sonic ice.
Nice. Okay, so what's up next? Is the Moscow Ghoul?
I wonder what that tastes like.
Well, delicious.
This is still from the same section where, like I said, he took and did just little twists on some cocktails. This is pretty much almost exactly an elderflower mule.
Right.
It's got 4 ounces of ginger beer, 2 ounces of vodka. It's got lime juice. It's got Saint Germain elderflower liqueur. And it's said to garnish with shaved dark chocolate.
Yeah. No. None for you?
Dude, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm kind of on a thing right here. And,
I've noticed.
Yeah, I've dropped a ton of weight, and just chocolate on my drinks or whatever. That's just, I mean, I can justify some of the sugar and things going into some of them, but just like putting extra chocolate on there, like, let me taste the cocktail how it is, and then I don't know, save chocolate for another time.
I get that.
All right, cool.
All right,
so
well,
this
cheers
is
to the Moscow Ghoul.
Moscow Ghoul. That's an elderflower mule.
Delightful.
Yeah, that's a easy sipping drink right there.
Yep. Tastes like more.
Well, and I was a little disappointed with this one because I know that Cindy likes the Moscow Mules. And so I actually picked this one. Hoping that she would give us her text insights again this time, because that was fun.
Cindy's too busy to be drinking nonsense.
No day drinking for Mrs. Bunn.
No.
Nice. Anton, you said it's delightful.
Yeah, it's delightful. I'm a big fan of a mule. I like a pear mule. That's probably my go-to drink of choice if I can't get my hands on moonshine. So Moscow Mule, pear mule. This is just elderflower mule. It's delightful. I could drink 3 of these and be a happy man.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good drink.
The elderflower, I was a little hesitant with that because one of the other drinks here has rose water in it. Mm-hmm. And I've never had elderflower liqueur. I tasted the rose water. I was like, oh my God, is this what flower liqueurs taste like? But the elderflower is really nice.
Finding the elderflower liqueur was a little difficult here, but I found it.
I weirdly have it on hand because I'm a big fan of like earthy flavors. I like a strong floral. I wasn't a big fan of the rose water. That's why I didn't have much to say about our last drink, because I'll drink a scotch, but once you start putting stuff in it, I'm not necessarily a huge fan. But yeah, that elderflower really kicks well with a lot of different drinks, so it's something we keep on hand at the house pretty regularly. Nice.
You're welcome at my bar anytime, by the way. This whole bar is stocked with just 25, 30 different kinds of scotch
with
at any
guitars.
Yeah, the guitars. You notice the guitars? It took what, 2 or 3 months of doing these?
We talked about the guitars last time.
No, that was after we stopped recording.
Oh, okay.
That was not for the benefit of the viewers.
What I keep staring at is right behind your arm. There's like a guitar strap that crosses over the gentleman's face in the maybe other side. Who is that?
That's Harry Houdini.
Oh, nice. That's what I thought, but because it was covering the face, I wasn't entirely sure.
Yeah, no. There's all of these are Harry Houdini. My bar.
So cool.
My bar and my house are filled with Houdiniana. I used to be just a huge Harry Houdini nerd. The man was an immigrant who took care of his family, basically took care of his mom and his brothers and sisters. There were like 12 of them. He took care of all of them all at once. Barely speaking English when he got here, and invented modern advertising. And he's just still a household name a century after he lived. And it's just, he's always just struck a chord with me. So there's Houdini stuff all over my house.
I'm surprised you didn't pick a drink inspired by In Prison with the Pharaohs then, because Lovecraft and Houdini did the collaboration story Imprisoned with the Pharaohs together.
Well, if somebody had mentioned, I would have flipped through the book to find it.
I didn't realize you were a Houdini fan, but
we've been recording in this same set for months, Cullen.
I'm new. I would have told you, I promise.
I quickly forget everything that I've seen about anybody that I talk to. I mean, as soon as it's over, I won't remember who you are. That's why every time I see you and you've lost weight, I'm like, who is this strange fellow?
I've known this man for over 20 years and can confirm I have to introduce myself every 10 minutes just so he remembers who I am.
Nice.
It's a power play, honestly. I do that to make sure people know how important I am.
I used to have a Little League coach that was the janitor at my elementary school, and he would never call any of the kids by name ever, because he didn't want any of the kids from the school to go to tryouts and think that they had it in with the coach, or have any of the kids think that they got on coach's team because he knew them from school. And so he was cordial, always said hi. He had a warm handshake and a smile, but he would never, ever call anybody by name because he didn't want you to know that he knew who you were when you were trying out for his team.
I like
Man, I wish I had come up with that excuse. I'm forgetful.
I'm pretty forgetful with names, but also it's a power play. I don't know what sounds better. I'm forgetful for, like, if I forget someone's name, what sounds better? Sorry, I'm forgetful with names, or it's a power play. I want you to know you're not important to me. Which one should I go?
Or I don't want people to think I'm doing favorites because I meet 7,000 people a day at these conventions.
Yeah. So which one should I go with? We should throw a poll up at some point. I like that.
We can do that. We can do that. I have control of the company Comic-Con Twitter.
Which should it be? Should it be?
What should Cullen's excuse for his poor memory be?
No, well, you could just say poor memory, but that's not as cool as power play.
And it's not as congenial as, like, I don't want to show favoritism because, you know, all of you are equal in my book.
One more drink from this lot.
Yes.
And this one, it took me a minute to figure out what this was, but I figured it out. It's the Riley. How do you say this?
Riley
Rising. It rises from the bottom, reaching for you with savory limbs, complex and nuanced sample flavors conjured from a banished ancient deep, even as you are seduced by the alien beauty of what confronts you. To do otherwise would be madness. So this one's got 2 ounces of vermouth, a splash of bitters, 2 ounces of rye, some grenadine, and it's got dried mango in there to look like tentacles or something.
Yeah, I didn't do that part because I didn't have any dried mango.
Oh, see, I did.
Oh, and you did? Let me see it.
Here's the third and final design there.
Oh, that's lovely. I love it. And I still like the second one better.
I don't know, man. That one has an X-Files vibe. That's pretty rad.
Yeah, cool. So this one layers real nice. I don't know if you can see that though. It's subtle, but at the bottom it's darker than it is on the top.
Yeah.
We had one with the Batman book that was supposed to layer out like this, but then they tell you to stir it. This one they had you pour it in through the side, and I got to use my my Guinness turtle.
Yeah.
My Guinness turtle to pour that in and make sure that it didn't disturb the layers.
Nice.
But this one is a version of a Scofflaw. A Scofflaw has rye, vermouth, lemon juice, grenadine, and bitters. So the difference is basically just the lemon juice. So they took the lemon juice out and they added the cut up mangoes.
Yeah. So I'm excited to try this one because I like my bitters. And I probably put a little more bitters than I was supposed to in it.
Well, I struggled with indecision and didn't know how much a drop of grenadine was supposed to be.
I think it's just because it's not a different color, the grenadine, when it went in, but it made just like a trail going down. And so it kind of accentuated when I first made it. It separated out it kind of got together a little bit here. But when the grenadine first went in, it made like a cool little like warped pattern in the layers that went through both.
That one hits right in the back of the throat.
The non-Euclidean flavors startle the palate.
Unspeakable.
This is another one that's got those weird directions where it's in a chalice clear, pour the dry vermouth and the bitters, pour the rye from a measure. Oh, it's not so bad, actually. Never mind. In a chalice clear, it got me, it fooled me with that first one. And then it ends with serve with devotion. So I guess there's that. Well,
you got to be devoted to finish this one. It takes some devotion to get through that glass.
That's a really strong little, and I think it's got pure liquor right on top because it does separate out. So maybe that's why it says to serve it with a drink straw so you can stir it up, or so you can drink from the bottom and the top. So you don't just get that first layer of just hard liquor right at once.
I don't drink from a straw. I'm not a child.
It's in the directions, man. I'm just telling
I
you what's
don't
on the
follow
page.
directions. I'm not a child.
Nice. So the thing about this book, it is a good bar book. Looking through, there's 200 pages. If you know what you're looking for, you can find it. They have the section where we talked about the aberrations. Then they've got Uncharted Waters, which is it's originals with cool visuals and interesting garnishes and layers and stuff. And there's Beer and Fear. Those are malt beverage based. Caffeine Dish Creations and Virgin Sacrifices. So they even, if you're throwing a themed party or having a tabletop RPG game or something like that, and children are coming, you can do your theme still with some of the virgin cocktails that they have in the back there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use this. So I do board game nights every few weeks, and the last one we did Zombicide, and I got into tiki. I was making a lot of tiki drinks, and I made zombies, of course, to go along with Zombicide, and it was a big hit. So I think when I play Cthulhu Wars next time, I'm going to make some drinks out of this cookbook or this bar book.
Fantastic. Yeah. Speaking of tabletop games, Valiant's coming out with a new tabletop game that's got Shadowman in it. And you wrote Shadowman. You're in the process of writing an ongoing for Shadowman, right?
Yes.
It's called Valiant: A Fight for Deadside. It's a cooperative 1 to 4 player tabletop game coming to Kickstarter. We don't have a date for when it's going to hit Kickstarter. It's designed by Sen-Fung Lim and John Cohn, and it's a 45 to 60 minute tabletop game featuring flagship and fan favorite characters of the Valiant universe: Shadowman, Ninja K, Punk Mambo, and Dr. Mirage, taking on Master Dark's army to stop them from invading our world. I reached out to Valiant. I was like, hey, I've been working with Cullen. We're doing this video. We've got Anton on board. We're doing these things.
He said, we're out. Cullen, forget it.
I said, can I get some images or something to share? They're like, nope. They're holding their cards so close to the chest on this one. And I don't blame them, but I really, really, really want to know more about this game.
Well, I really, really wish I could tell you more about it because I don't know anything about it. When it got announced a couple of weeks back, when it kind of came out, that was the first I'd heard of it. And it's I'm sure it's been in development for a while. So it probably, the storyline wise, it probably predates my Shadowman stuff. I mean, I know it does. So I don't know how much of the stuff that I'm introducing in Shadowman will be in it. I can tell you that Sin is a really talented game designer. I'm working with him on an adaptation of another one of my comics, one of my creator-owned comics, but I don't think I can talk about it just yet. But he also has in the past worked with us on, we were trying to bring the 6 Gun out as a board game, and Sin had some really cool ideas for that and stuff. So he's a very talented game designer, and I'm sure it's going to be great. I think people who like the Valiant universe are going to love it. If it had just been maybe a year or two later, it could have incorporated the stuff that I'm doing in my Shadowman run. But I guess that gives them the opportunity for expansions.
Oh, there you go. The Cullen Bun expansion pack.
Cullen Bun expansion.
Here's your Cullen Bun glass.
Yeah, it comes with a Cullen Bun glass. Is the only way to get them.
Do we know if it's going to be system agnostic or if it's building off of anything that already exists? Any of that?
I don't know. What the system that they're using is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes out, it'll be fun to kind of try out and talk about in another show or something. I plan on getting it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it'll be a cool game. I just I wish I knew a little more about it, but you pointed out they're playing their cards very close to their chest on this one.
Nope,
I'm writing Shadowman. I'm writing an arc called Deadside, and I didn't know they were doing this game.
So speaking of tabletop gaming, you said that this book would be fun to bring out for you have a Lovecraft themed tabletop game that you're playing. You did a tiki party a while back for a different game you were doing.
Yes, and those tiki drinks were amazing.
They look super cool.
So I'm ashamed to admit this, but I haven't played a tabletop RPG in probably 25 years. And
well, it happens. Look, I took a several year break. I've been playing board games a lot. But when the pandemic hit, Anton got me playing online role playing games, so I do that now pretty regularly. Yeah, I mean, it might be a system shock for you to start playing role playing games now, though. I mean, it's
Well, and that's kind of okay. So what happened was, army kids, they nerd out to really weird stuff. So when I was in the army in 1996, the thing was it was Insane Clown Posse, it was RPGs, and it was WWE. That was what everybody was just insane for. So I had never heard Insane Clown Posse before, and that was just kind of a little bit too out there for me. So I wasn't into that. But I got invited to play Dungeons and Dragons, and I had never played before. My only experience with Dungeons and Dragons is like I went on a missions trip to Mexico, and we were building a house, and one of the pastors down there asked me to spend my money as a kid on a set to send to him so he could preach about how like evil it was or something. It was ridiculous. But so I went to this thing, and I didn't know what to expect, and I got there, and I guess I showed my whole ass because they kicked me out. And they did not invite me back. And I was just kind of like not friends with those people ever again because they really just, I asked too many questions, I guess. I don't know what the deal was. But I'm also, I mean, I'm kind of an ass sometimes. So
well,
after that, though,
either you were a complete ass or they were complete ass.
Yeah.
One of those two. It's
been either or, man.
But one of the things is now that I've noticed with the communities and stuff, because I took my eldest kid, he's 21 now, but I took him when he was younger to go play Magic the Gathering and a couple different games at the local comic shop here. And I noticed that the crowd was really just like, oh, you've never played this before. Let me show you how. Let me show you how this works. Let me sit with you for your first hour or whatever to get you through this thing. And that's not the experience that I had. So if I started playing games now, I think I'd have a completely different experience. And that's what I'm kind of hitting up some of my friends that do it. I'm like, hey, where do you get started? And they're like, oh, Lord, here's 15 books to read.
Nah, you don't need 15 books. You need one book and you'd be okay.
You don't even need a book. What you need is you need somebody. I have open tables. If you want to learn how to play, you want to just get your feet wet in the water, you let me know. We'll set something up. You can come join one of the games. I've been running various tabletop games since '93. I mean, my first license plate was RPGesus. The wall-to-wall shelf behind me is nothing but tabletop game books. If it's something you want to learn, I think we are seeing now community-wise something that I've been aware of for 20 years, which is you're going to run into jerks, but there's always going to be people who just want, you want to play, we'll teach you how to play. It'll be a lot of fun. You'll have a good time. I think it could be a good experience.
Right on. Let's set that up offline here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool. Something else I want to bring up, Cullen, you've got the Ghoul Next Door out. It's been out since July, right? Yeah. 200 pages, all ages, but recommended for ages 8 to 12. My 6-year-old and my 8-year-old ate that thing up. My 6-year-old went through it in about 25 minutes and then reread it like 15 times. I know it's available. It's available right now on Amazon for about $12. I don't know what's retailing for in physical shops, but do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it is. It's out in hardcover and trade paperback. They came out simultaneously. It's a big, thick, original graphic novel. It's the story of an unlikely friendship. We have a character named Gray who lives in a town very much like Salem. That's legend haunted town. And one day he takes a shortcut to school. He takes a shortcut through this ancient graveyard, and he trips and drops his school project into, gasp, an open grave. And before he can fish it out, this strange hand reaches out from a tunnel and drags the project back into the tunnel with it. And from there, weirdly enough, a strange friendship starts to form between Gray and this creature that lives in the cemetery or beneath the cemetery, a ghoul named Lavinia. And they explore the city. They explore their town together. They explore the underworld together. They get into all sorts of crazy hijinks, and they run afoul of both Lavinia's people and a terrible witch. And it's a fun story. I wanted it to be a horror story, a real horror story that kids could enjoy and creepy adults could enjoy at the same time.
Yeah, and I read it. There's nothing in there that's it is a true horror story, but there's nothing in there that's super inappropriate for kids. If you know what a ghoul is, you know what a ghoul is. But
Yeah.
there's no graphic violence, there's no graphic like gore in it, but everything is implied just enough to like creep the kids out without exposing them to stuff that maybe they shouldn't be exposed to at 6 years old.
If you can accept that one of the main characters probably eats dead bodies, then you're okay. The rest is gravy. But yeah, I think it's a fun book. It's like I think it's perfect for this time of year. I think kids will really dig it. Everyone that's read it has given me positive feedback and asked me when the next book is coming out. And there is another one. I think Kat Ferris is the artist on the book. She's wrapping up art on the next one, probably within the next week or two.
Oh, cool. So that'll be available, early next year?
I don't know, the real publishing, the real publishers, the traditional publishing market works so much differently than the comic book publishing market.
Oh, so you went like the Raina Telgemeier route with this one then, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's look, I got to try different things. It's
well, no, it's worked. It's worked for her. She's come out with how many graphic novels now, and she's a bestseller. And she doesn't have anything to do with any of the traditional like comics or graphic novels publishers, and she's just making a killing in her own little lane.
Yeah, it's a very different market, very different approach to how they do books, how they release books. But it's been fun. It's nice cool. And for me, looking at the flip side of the publishing side of the publishing industry, it's a nice way. It's a nice introduction to a different approach to doing comics.
So we've talked about Luxardo cherries a couple of times. I finally went down and I spent the money on these things. Are $25. $25 for this tiny little jar.
18, you bought it somewhere expensive.
$25. I'm going to send the slide. We're going to put the slide up. That's got the price tag and everything on it. $25.
I saw it when you posted on Twitter. You paid just a little more than I would, but
so I guess if you go to Costco, you can get 2 jars for $30, but that's $15 a bottle. You're getting it for $18.
I will gladly pay $18. Okay. I would have paid $25.
You would pay the $25. Okay, so this is still sealed. I'm about to open and try a Luxardo.
Whoa! You've never tried one of these things?
Oh, no! I told you I've never tried it, and I went to go get it because you said this would change my life.
All right,
trusting you with $25.
Do it. Let me tell you what. When I make drinks here at home, if people throw out their cherry, I get their Luxardo cherry. They pour it over. I get angry. I get physically ill.
All right, so here we go. They smell good. They're not easy to stab. I'm just going to grab it. Oh, wow. It's slick like a booger.
Gross. Don't say that.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Right?
It's good. It's good.
It's good. What's wrong with you?
It's good. So here's the thing. I'm just looking at it going, there's 50 cherries in here. It says about 50 cherries. That was 50 cents I just stuck in my mouth.
Yeah, and that was awesome. It was worth it.
Oh, you know what? It's complex. There's an after flavor.
Oh, could Cullen know what he's talking about?
There are some notes there.
You know what maraschino cherries have no business in?
What's that?
A cocktail. Like those bright red maraschino cherries, the ones you're used to.
But these are maraschino cherries, though.
No, I know those are the real maraschino cherries.
So I think the value here actually. I'm going to validate this for you, but not for the reason you think. I think the value here, I keep turning it the wrong way. Okay. I think the value here is actually for the syrup because the cherries are very good, but the syrup I think would add a lot of depth and texture to different cocktails. I think this would go really well with the Scotch cocktail. Actually,
it does. Certainly. I use when I make an old fashioned, I will take like a half a spoonful and just dribble it across the top of the old fashioned. It's always a hit.
Because actually, I ran into the Luxardo other products in the store.
Yeah, they sell this.
They sell the Marasca cherry liqueur by itself.
Yeah.
So I think if you get the bottle of cherries instead of the liqueur, you can use the syrup, the Marasca cherry syrup from this bottle to make a very, very similar cocktail, but also have the texture of the cherry actually in the drink.
Yeah, but
I got you. I got you.
For real. Those bright red cherries. They have the purpose of a bright red cherry is to put on top of a sundae, not a cocktail.
I will concede to you that this is probably the best maraschino cherry I've had
ever.
But I don't eat a lot of maraschino cherries, so there's also that caveat of like, it's good, but in order for me to do this regularly, I would have to have a cocktail that specifically calls for it.
Right. When I order drinks around the restaurants around town now, they've gotten to know me enough that they'll say, "Oh, we only have the regular red cherries. Do you still want it?"
And then you want to fight, right?
No, I don't want that. Please give me something else.
Just get the Scotch neat and you'll be all right, because it doesn't require any sort of garnishing.
I like my beverages to be mixed with other beverages. I want it to be built and constructed and stirred. I want some love to go into that beverage.
Sure. Nice. All right. So the cherries, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I'm gonna give it my seal, but with the caveat that, I mean, I have no purpose for this thing. It's a good cherry, but I have no purpose for it because I don't drink old fashions. I don't drink any like muddled cherry recipes or anything like that. So I see why you like them so much for your kind of drink, but for my Scotch neat, there's no place for it. So
you know what I'm gonna do this Christmas? I'm gonna make chocolate covered cherries with those Luxardo cherries.
And then you're gonna promise to send them to me, and they're not.
I'm gonna send you one. I'm gonna send you one in a glass.
You said you would send me dried fruits. They have not shown up. You said you sent me a glass. They're not here. I'm not holding my breath on the chocolate.
Did I say I was gonna send you dry fruit?
You did. It's in the first video. Go back and watch the first video. You're like, oh yeah, I'll send you a box with a glass.
You know what? I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write it down and I'm gonna send it to you. I got my pen right here. Hold on.
So in other words, those are never coming.
I should just stop. I have written it down.
Nice. Here, you want to use?
Yeah. Oh wait, I'll get a real pen.
Nice. One of the other things, going back to the bar book, that I meant to mention, but I forgot to mention, is there's no food in this one. So it does have the virgin cocktails on the back, but this is a real thick book. The Gotham City Cocktails had the cocktails in the front. It had the remoulade and stuff in the back. This one doesn't come with any food, but there was a book that he wrote before called the Necronom.
Yeah, I never read that, and now that I've read this cocktail book, I want to get that one because I saw it at a store. I saw it at Forbidden Planet years ago, and I almost bought it.
So we can probably get a hold of a review copy of that one too if you want to talk about in a future thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and make 6 dishes in front of me, but I'll try some things and then talk about what we tried another time.
I'm not a very good cook, so.
Well, and that's a good test though. I'm not a good bartender. That's a good test of some of these books is can I make the drink, and does the drink come out the way it's supposed to come out? Because if it doesn't, then the bar book is useless to me, because I'm not going to learn new skills and things without somebody showing me. So reading in a book, if I can't understand the instructions, it's a worthless book.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there. My wife and I, since the whole COVID thing has been going on, she's an amazing cook. I could make Chex Mix and, like maybe open a beer. I have no skills in the kitchen, but one of the things we've been doing is getting some of these novelty cookbooks and novelty drink books, and then I will make the things in the books for her. And that's how we kind of rate what's a good dish or not, is if I can easily follow the instructions that are laid out to get it done. Like, I think we're working through, I think it's called like Heroes Feast, which is like a gaming.
That's the Dragons one?
Yeah, we're working through that one right now. I looked up because I think it's on the shelf right there. But I think we're working through that right now just to kind of see what works and what doesn't. And we've probably done 2 or 3 since 2019.
We have just a few minutes left here. Is there anything else that either of you guys want to add? Is there something you want to do next?
I'm open. We can do, if there's another like bar book we want to review, that's cool. We can also, Anton and I at one time talked about doing like things themed based off different, like monster movies, and we did drinks based off like werewolves and things like that.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Sounds fun. It was a lot of fun.
We just created our own cocktails, and we kind of brought the recipe to the recording, and we talked about whatever it was. Like, we talked about werewolves, and I made a couple of drinks that were inspired by, stories of werewolves. But then we'd have to think of what monster we're gonna, or what legend or whatever we do something about.
That's a good angle. I like that for next time. So let's hammer that out a little bit offline. All right, so this has been Happy Hour. New name. Barcon was just a little bit too problematic. It's a cool name, and it works on some levels, but just looking at some of the stories that have come out and some of the awful things that happened at Barcon, we decided to kind of set that aside. And we're going to go with Happy Hour from here on out. So it's a little confusing. It's Barcon 1, Barcon 2. It's going to be Happy Hour number 3, but we're going to keep the numbering. New title is going to be Happy Hour.
Happy Hour is problematic for me because I do not like being happy. I do not enjoy it. It's not natural. It's not natural. And I just want you to understand I'm doing this completely under duress. I am calling this Happy Hour.
That's duly noted. But we're going to go ahead with Happy Hour number 3. Subtitle is Comics and Cocktails. Works for me. Even though Cullen's grumpy about it, I'm okay.
That's all the subtitle? All of that is the subtitle.
Yes.
Happy Hour, Comics and Cocktails works for me, even though Cullen is a little grumpy about it.
There it is.
Now that is a good title. That is the excellent title.
So if you'd like to see more content like this, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things you're supposed to do. If you have ideas for things that we should do in the future, you got a bar book that you absolutely love that's got some nerdy content in it, let us know, and we'll take a look at it for sure. So that's our time. Thank you very much. Happy Hour number 3, Cullen Bunn and Mr. Anton Kromoff.
And you.
Oh, and me. Yes. And Brendan Allen. There we go. Yes.